so much spec on for the age of the car. It just blows my mind. Each time I drive in it, I feel like I'm in a Bentley. Hi guys, I'm back accidentally filming another car reveal video. Well, actually it's not accidentally, obviously I sold the BMW for a reason. As soon as the money came in for the sale of the BMW, I literally spent it an hour later on said car we have behind the camera here. So yes, hi guys and welcome back to another video back on the Driven 24/7 Automotive YouTube channel. And this, I worked out the other day, is the sixth car I've owned in 6 months. But this car is a keeper. It's staying completely standard and it is the best car I've probably ever owned, and I feel a lot of love for this car already. It's just absolutely amazing. So I had to spend a bit of money on my previous car, the BMW E36, to get it through an MOT. I had to sort of accidentally lower it for it to go through an MOT, and even when my E36 was a standard, it was never as nice as my now standard other new car that I've bought. I wanted some luxury to the car, you know, so although it looked cool from the outside, the inside was pretty basic spec, and I lusted and longed for heated seats. And that sounds really stupid, but Martin's car, my fiance, he's got a new car and his heated seats are amazing. I love heated seats and I wanted some heated seats, you know, that's all I wanted. The fuel economy was getting me down in the E36. Mine was a straight 6.2 litre, and I think the straight 6 part was, MPG was awful, so I'd put in like 20-30 quid in and it was lasting me a week. Whereas so far I've had my new car for a week probably today, and it's still got some fuel left in it from that 30 quid that I put in it this time last week. I found myself, because the E36 was then lowered, I found myself too scared to drive it, so I put the E36 up for sale. I then also had an opportunity to buy my old Rev Civic back, and I click on the card above to watch that. That was another low mileage Minter that I bought, but that had a whole little cute story behind it. So I then put up the BMW for sale in order and hope to buy my Civic back. But then I was thinking about the Civic, well that was a nice car, but that was too basic as well. So I wanted to make sure my next car, like a lot of the boxes would tick, if not all the boxes. The Civic then went out of my mind. This car that I've now bought, I'd seen it on Facebook, but I'd skimmed past it. Martin had then sent me the Facebook ad and he said, have you seen this car? I said, yeah, whatever. And he said, no, actually read it. And he read it out and I was like, oh, I should have read the advert for this car, because this is literally perfect for me. Anyway, and even after work, the new E36 owner come to look at the BMW for the first time. But then, come to the end of the week, I had my heart set on me buying this car, which I really needed the BMW to go. So luckily, on a Saturday morning, the guy did come for a second viewing. Thank the Lord he bought it. So he put the money for the E36 in my account, and literally an hour later, that money was gone back out on another car. So it was amazing how it worked out, and I'm so grateful for how it worked out. And now I've got the BMW's replacement. Is that right here? I have owned finance brand new hot hatches, I've owned finance other new cars before, and I've had older sort of early 90s cars before. I've even had 1960s, 1970s cars before. But this car, for me, in my personal opinion, you guys might think otherwise, this is the best car I've ever had the privilege of saying it's mine and I've ever had the privilege of owning. And we've just found out just driving here that it does something else as well. It's got so much spec on for the age of the car. It just blows my mind. Each time I drive in it, I feel like I'm in a Bentley. Let's show you the car. I'm so excited. I absolutely love this car. This car has given me, I don't know, when I first got this car, I just couldn't wait to drive it to and from work. It was in my thoughts, it was in my dreams, and car people might relate to that. When you really love a car, you know, I suppose it's like people, I guess. I've gone and bought my first Merc. This is my 2000 reg Mercedes C200 Classic Selection. So I recently bought my first BMW, and I suppose you could say this is the E36 rival, the competitor, the Mercedes. Now, when I read the advert for this car, I actually thought it was a C180, so I actually thought it had a 1.8 litre engine. But this being the C200, it actually has got a 2 litre engine, which I was a bit iffy about, going from a 2 litre engine to another 2 litre engine, and me moaning about fuel economy being bad. And like I say, so far so good. She is an auto. Lovely smooth gearbox in this car, and picks up speed. It's got all sorts on it. It's got all electric windows, electric sunroof, cruise control. It's got all sorts of gadgets and silly little things. Why they put them on a car, I don't know, but it's amazing that they have. Oh, and did I say I've done it again? I've gone and got another low mileage car. So this is a 2000 reg car with only 45,000 miles on the clock, and I'm only the 4th owner. Let's do a walk around as always. So she is on a W plate, which is a 2000 plate. I do want to actually get some private plates for this car, because I have got a private plate, but it's an 04 one, so it's too new to go on this old car. So we've even got things like front sensors, and I thought this was something that had been fitted after the car came out of the factory, like retrofitted or whatever you want to call it, but this actually come out of the factory with front and rear parking sensors. A 2000-year car with front parking sensors, and I'll show you the parking sensor display in the car as well. It's absolutely mad technology for how old this car actually is. So although these look like sort of hubcaps, they're not. Yeah, the alloys, they're not 100% amazing. They've got a couple of little marks, but I mean, all in all, they're really clean. So this is actually a classic selection C200. And there's obviously the other models like the Elegance. The car is in silver, which is good for old used cars because it hides any scratches and stuff a car of this age may have. But to be honest, bodywork all around is all good. I do have a couple of dents in this. You can see one there on camera. There's a dent there and a dent there on the back. Hopefully we'll pay someone to get them removed at a later date. We have the driven stickers on here, of course. On the top we have the sunroof as well. This car really suits silver. It's just an executive classic selection Mercedes. It really suits the car. On the back, the only obvious bodywork apart from those 2 dents is we've got a mark here gone on a bumper. I'll try and get that repainted or touched up again while the car's in my ownership. I've always liked the rear lights on this style of Mercedes as well. The earlier regs, the dark bit's orange, but obviously on the later models you get like the smoked rear tail lights, which just looks really cool. Our way around the back of the car, the rear sensors, we got the C200 badge here, and then yeah, the other side of the car is pretty good as well. It's coming up well on camera, but you guys might be able to see the windows look like they've been tinted from factory. Just looking at the car now, they're definitely tinted. Going over to the front, we've got, again, I think the earlier models have the amber coloured indicators. On the later models, we've got clear. We've got the all-important Mercedes badge, and you can see that sat in the driver's seat. And it's good because obviously you know where the front, although I've got parking sensors at the front, you always know where the front end of the car is because of the badge sticking out. There was a small patch of rust. Oh, here it is. And we've got clear side indicators as well, and there was another little bit on a door somewhere. Oh, here it is. So apart from those couple of bits and the little scab we have on the rear bumper, the car also came with 2 remote fob keys. So although it's an old car, it's still got remote locking, and it does actually work from quite a distance. Now this is amazing, right? It's got an automatic open and boot from the key and from the inside of the car. I mean, how baller is this? So we'll just press the boot button. It gets me every time. It's amazing. I've got my first ever warning triangle as well. I'm well happy with that. The boot is absolutely massive. It's huge. We've got original rubber mats here in the car as well. You pull that, the rear seats go down. Silly things like this, if you unscrew this, the petrol lid will just sit in here. I mean, that is just nuts. So this is what really sold the car to me, was the interior. The nice door cards here with airbags in, which is amazing. The seats, so you go up and down, forward and backwards and all that malarkey. So let me just step in because there's a bit of noise happening outside the car at the moment, which is a bit annoying. We're greeted by the wood on the centre console here, which apparently is real wood. We've got the classic selection on the automatic gearbox here. It does also have manual mode, summer and winter mode. You can control all the electric windows, obviously, from here, the fronts and the rears. Look how shiny this wood is. I guess that's to turn the parking sensors on and off. You can adjust the mirrors electrically here. Now this button is amazing because when I get to work, I'm sat in the car, I flick this, look in the rear view mirror, and Martin's there. But no, I see the boot pop up, and that is amazing. Cubby holes. We got this here. I guess that's meant to be like a drinks holder. So cool. And then here we have the ashtray, and now on the way here, this is what I was telling you about earlier, we didn't know what this was. It pops it out on a spring so you can empty all your disgusting ash out. I mean, look, How mad. They thought not only would we put an ashtray in there, because obviously the older cars do, but they even put a switch you can pop the ashtray out to empty the ash. That is nuts. A little nice phone holder there from the 2000s. Phone holder here, we've got an aftermarket radio, but it's not great, but we'll get another one another time. Now here, in some of these Mercedes C-Class series, there's not many buttons, but I seem to have all of them. So here we have it, the all-imported heated seats for both the front here. So it has two settings, two or heat set number one basically, and let me tell you, so for a 21-year-old car, you put it on a high setting, they're hot within like 10 seconds, trust me. And then here it has an alarm, ESP, I don't touch that. Oh, and here we have climate control in a 2000-year car. This is EC, this stands for Mercedes-Benz aircon. I have that off because I don't need to have aircon, but passenger can have it really cold and I can have it really hot. That is just nuts. A rear demister again for an old car, that works really well. And I've got another trick to show you in a minute. I guess you can lock all the doors here, but when you start to move, the doors automatically lock, which is something I always like to have in my cars. We've got an airbag here. As you can see, the dash is just absolutely pristine. We have a nice steering wheel. I have already cleaned this car, but this steering wheel is absolutely hanging in just grey finger grease. A lot of hand germs were on here. We have the cruise control, which I haven't tried, and it's been ages since I've had a car with cruise control. We got the wipers and the indicators are all on one stalk. You twist it for the wipers and also indicate up and down. Over here we have the light panel. Like on the BMW, just twist it for the lights. We have a foot pedal handbrake, and you pull that out to release the handbrake. So the clockwise, put the lights on, there we go. So all the lights in here light up yellow, which is wicked. It's also got a dimmer for the lights, which I absolutely love, but I always like to have them nice and bright. So we have the fuel gauge, it isn't on zero just because the car's not on. Temperature gauge, even has a temperature gauge for the outside. We have the time here and the rev counter, and we have your speedo. And there it is, 45,000 miles. I've picked up another low miler, old Minter baby. This has just got everything you want. How cold it is outside, your important car stuff, and then it's got the time. Everything, I don't have to look over here for the time or a temperature. I mean, to have a temperature gauge is just cool anyway for the outside of the car. Everything's where you want it. I forgot to mention, we have a nice armrest with a 50p we found when cleaning the car. The interior of this car is mint, and because it's a Mercedes, all the carpets are nice and thick and easy to hoover. We have selection mats on here as well. Tiny little glove box though, absolutely tiny. What is that all about? Up here we have the sunroof. Now I like this when it's closed. It's got a couple of little vents in here, just looks nice. The roof, by the way, is actually vinyl, but going down the A-pillars here, the pillars of the car, each side, is actually like, oh, you can see it there on camera quite well, it's like a navy blue, maybe it's meant to be black sort of fabric. Got the sunroof controls here, so it will tilt up like the E36 should have done but didn't, and it will also open all the way back. Always important for me to have a sunroof, guys. A lot of boxes have been ticked of this car for sure. Here we have these. Now this is basically where, it's basically like a reverse camera before its time. So we have one screen there and one screen there. Now obviously this just comes up in the yellow, in the amber and the red for your parking sensors. And then when you put it in reverse, you look in the rear view mirror there, and in the middle there, that is also the brake light, but in the front there, it'll come up with what's happening on the rear parking sensors as well. It's got a parking camera, a reverse camera before they were even a thing. Now this button here, what a gimmick. So I'm going to show you the rear view mirror there. I don't know how you actually do it. That's so... and they go down with a thud as well, so I actually like having them down. It just gives you a clearer vision through the rear window, but why put those in? But it's so cool to have them in. So on the inside of the car now, the switches on the door cards for the rear windows go up and down. So here we have the amazing headrest, and here, I haven't actually looked in it myself, we actually have a first aid kit, and it looks complete as well. And that's where I said that the parking sensors show up on those two little screens there. We also have an armrest, and then you got two cup holders there as well. How'd you put... Ah, okay, push it back in. There we go. Well, the seats in here are so much comfier compared to my old E36. They obviously look cool with the black. Yeah, they're nice and comfy, but they look sporty as well. So guys, it's getting a bit cold now. I will do another video of me sat in the car, driving the car, because it is effortless to drive. I know it's an automatic, so that goes without saying, but the driving experience and everything about this experience of this car is just blown my mind completely. You can also do another silly thing with the key. So not only does the key fob open the boot automatically, if you press and hold it, all the windows go down in the car and the sunroof goes back. I love this car so much. Technically gone and bought the BMW E36's rival. This is totally, I know this car is 8 years newer, but whether those 8 years or not really make the car a better car, or whether it's just because Mercedes were also just much better spec cars than the BMWs out the factory, I don't know. I absolutely love this car. It's been a while since I felt this way about a car, and to know that I've bought this car with cash, it's not on finance or anything. I own all this metal behind me, and I'm proud to own it. This car is staying completely standard. The only thing I want to do is get some press plates on it, maybe get a private reg, and just get a better aftermarket radio of a sub, because I like my music. That's all I'm going to do to it. She's also got a long MOT till August, I believe, next year, so that was also another bonus when I bought this car. I bought this car pretty locally as well, about 20 minutes away, from a nice older chap who'd owned the car for a few years. I absolutely love this car. Let me know what you think in the comments below. And I know this isn't no modified hot hatch or no modified BMW. I get that it's boring compared to a lot of the other cars I've had, I get that. So this car's not going to be on my channel as much as some of my other cooler, faster cars I've owned in the past, because I know it's not that exciting. To me it is, but to you guys it might not be. So although this car will be on the channel when it needs to be on the channel, when I want to put a video about it, obviously, I'm going to start going into more sort of car reviews. So although I'll be filming cool cars, you guys know that behind the scenes I'm rolling around in a big Benz, baby, and I absolutely love it. So thanks for watching this video. I hope you get that I'm just so enthusiastic about this car. I cannot rate this car highly enough. I absolutely love it. In a week, I've had this car for a week now. I'm in love with it. I could cry. Don't cry, that's silly. Thanks for watching this video. Let me know what you think of my Mercedes in the comments below. In my next video, Mercedes video, I'll be in this car driving it and just probably telling you about how much I love it all over again. She's going absolutely nowhere. She's staying completely standard. I can't stress that enough. I'm not messing with this one at all. I don't care if that's boring, but I bloody like it. I just did a naughty word on camera. I'll see you in another video, and if you want to see photos of this car, check out my website for a little blog post that I'm about to do photos for, and a little write-up for as well. See you in another video, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you like this one, and if you don't, whatever, I like it. So sometimes that's all that matters. Bye. Ow, holly bush. Ouch. Of owning birds. It's yeah. Train coming past again.